Hey, what's going on, everybody? Shane here from Full Display Gaming, and today I am going to give you a tour of a tabletop wargaming store located in Torrance, California. It is Lost Planet. Mike, what's going on, brother?
What's up, Shane? How you doing, buddy?
How you doing?
Chilling, man.
So, thank you for letting us come by.
Nah, I'm honored. I appreciate it,
Let's
man.
start with a tour of the shop and everything.
Well, you found us, so
Yeah.
That's always the first issue is people find our little cutout, and then they come through here, and then they see this little world that we created for them.
So let's start off with over here. You have so many different kinds of games here. Let's just break it down because there's a lot of stuff here. What do we got over here?
This is quite a bit. So over here, this is going to be predominantly, we do a lot of military wargaming. We have Flames of War, Bolt Action, Team Yankee, a lot of smaller press games that are going to be more focused towards historicals that we carry from Gale Force 9, Battlefront, and Warlord games respectively. We also do stuff like with terrain building. We have some other Wargame Atlantic, some other kind of stuff that can kind of be a little more generic for people. Battletech, huge, it's old, it's been around, it's very storied. It's been 40 years now. We carry the full range of that. We love that here. One of our many gaming tables where people can come in and bust out. Over here we do, our Star Wars miniature game, both Legion, Shatterpoint. We have the full range of everything for Marvel as well, for Crisis Protocol, Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, it's a lot of.
It's too much.
This is just what we went over five games.
We're 5
right
feet
here.
in, you know?
As well as, there's all the terrain over there, and then you have all these pigments and like paints and everything.
Yeah,
and then
it's pretty brutal. We do have, everything for Dungeons and Dragons for whatever people want to do and however they want to enjoy that. Of course, a wide range of just gnarly dice.
You can never have enough dice.
Yeah, too many fancy colors for all the goblins out there. All the accoutrements, of course, all the books, all the figurines. Behind me, if I can sneak through my ever-burdened counter, is going to be predominantly just collectible supplies for Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, One Piece, Star Wars card game, Lorcana. We do a ton of Magic here and Commander Nights. Star Wars has really popped off since it came out a few months ago. Card games too, man. I love it all. I've been playing them since I was a little kid, and it's just can't get enough of any of it.
All right, what do we got over here? There's
washes, inks, terrain, tools. I mean, that's a big part of what we do is all the modeling that goes along with some of these war games and model kits, and having a deep bench of products that our customers can enjoy to make their artwork is very important. So we carry huge ranges of washes and tools and texture pastes, specialty gel paints, specialty turbo dork paints, which is for sure the best metallics ever. These were actually guys that were made in LA. They had such great success that recently, as of last year, they had just moved over to Texas because they outgrew downtown LA. And it was just a couple, husband and wife, and they crushed it, love their stuff, and they're great people. They used to hand deliver their orders to us, and we were lucky to see them. Now they have to send it, but it's okay because we still love them. Brushes, Gundams. We do a little bit of Gundam for those, anime fans that love those big mechas. Full range of different colored spray paints, weathering pencils. Behind me, we got your glues, we got your military colors, we got AK Pantone, full 3rd gen, which is some of the best in the industry. Hell, I even got punk patches, rock patches, little horror patches and stickers. You have to go and sift through that. That's your vibe fully. I even have, my wife insisted that we kind of upgrade and have a little girly things. I got little gamer bath bombs and gamer soaps for the ladies and such to go along with all of our accoutrements. These are books that we use for a lot of the wargaming down here from Games Workshop. And there's even more paint right around the corner here.
So what do you got over here?
Over here? Too much?
Way too much stuff.
All right, so right behind you, Shane, a grip of board games from pretty much all the bigger producers that are out there, from Asmodee, Alliance, all of the big publishing houses as well as distributors. If I had double the space, I'd have triple the product. So just trying to pack it in with everything that's been popular, that's been coming out. And then, of course, all the old hits. And whenever I have the opportunity, small press publishers that are local. That to me is a huge deal. So I'm always trying to link up with people that are in the Los Angeles, Southern California area so that we can try to get some stuff on shelves. In particular, a lot of party games. This is a really cool one that's probably up your alley. This is like a D&D one.
Oh, shit.
Party Wanted. He made a deck builder. He's a dude from West LA, and it's kind of meme-ish, a little bit of Rick and Morty meets D&D, and it's also acts as a drinking game. So this is
really?
This is a really cool one that's been really cool to talk with a guy. I met him at a convention about a year ago. And it's really cool to see somebody like that's literally like, you know, from his house forward producing in the area, which is always really special. So
I was gonna say Dungeons Degenerates. That's another game I've been wanting to check out.
Dude,
too.
that one, Sean's art is crazy. I've been following his projects for a long time, especially in your scene and my scene, like of the past, especially that acid art, that punk art, a little bit of metal brutality in there, but then mashing it with like Dungeons and Dragons has been incredibly special to see. I have prints of his, I have books of his. And then the game is amazing, and that's one of those ones it's smaller and it's really special to me. So we have it all, you know, whether it's, you know, the crazier ones or some of the more traditional ones, you know, we pack in the board games pretty deep.
So speaking of all these board games and everything, say if somebody wanted to come in, and do you ever do testings or
all the
like
time.
And people want to jump in a game?
We actually have the guy from Party Wanted. We're trying to get, you know, connected with him to do another demo day for it here. We've had guys up for various games, but whether it's like big publishers from Asmodee that have official road show days that have done stuff here, but it's all stuff that we do in our Discord where guys can be like, what are we doing? When are we gonna play this? And we'll set up demo days. We have a demo library for people to enjoy, but then we always have special events going so that we can try to showcase some of these things, especially ones that are a little more fringe or upcoming. Anytime we get the chance.
Hell yeah. Again, we'll touch more on it in a bit, but community is what makes this damn story. You know?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's far and away the most important word that I probably beat to death every day, but it's definitely something that's really special here.
Hell yeah. Like, do you have enough paint?
No, never enough paint. This is Army Painter's full range, recently augmented. We carry everything from them, and to be honest, if they made more, I'd have more. We have plans to bring in a couple different ranges, but more the merrier. Painting models is one of the most amazing hobbies you could get into, and we venerate that tremendously here by making sure that we have everything for anyone that wants to try to bust it out and get really honed in with their talents. So we carry that full range, and then of course into more AK, as well as of course behind me, the entire range of Games Workshop products. That includes all of their models for every range that they do, Age of Sigmar as well as everyone's favorite 40K, and all the new releases, and then of course tables to play on. In the corners over here, we carry a little library of Games Workshop novels and other fiction, as well as miniature games from smaller press companies like Parabellum, Spartan Games, which used to be Spartan Games, now is over to War Cradle Studio for Dystopian Wars, one of my personal favorites because I got to work on that a long time ago when I was a younger man, as well as, it was a real trip. I'll have to talk about that one.
Yeah.
Malifaux, done by Weird Games, as well as the recently resurgent Privateer Press's War Machine Mark IV. We carry the full range of that. So miniature wargaming is definitely something that we've enjoyed here, as you have.
Yes.
I know when I've gotten you in here, you've been playing, you've been busting it out. You're a big 40K guy, so we carry it all and we love it all.
And that's the thing too. It's like miniature wargaming itself is 3 hobbies in one, because you have people who just love painting and building.
Yeah.
And you have people who like playing the game.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just
yeah, it's the best part about it is when you're doing it, even if you're not playing, you're able to enjoy it because you're either reading, studying, digesting it, or you're building, you're painting. So it's like there's always a way to enjoy it. So it's never like, oh, I can't do it because my buddies are at work. I can't mess with it. Well, yeah, you can work on your models. You can paint them. Oh, I can't get to the shop this weekend because of XYZ. And it's like, okay, well, read your book. You know, make the new list. Get in the lab. You know, so there's always a way to have it be enjoyed, and that's one of the most tremendous parts about it is how you can really take it in any direction you want at any time.
Absolutely. And you know, to touch on just Warhammer, it looks really overwhelming, but they actually did a really good move recently with the smaller war bands, and the smaller kill team stuff.
You know, cost is always a factor, and you know, size is always a factor, but the throttle is there however you want it to be, and Games Workshop, especially in recent years, has done a really incredible job of making it a little more accessible for a beginner or a veteran by making it a lot more approachable, scaling it down, or going crazy and scaling it up if you want it.
Yeah.
But it really lets you kind of take the bull by the horns and enjoy it in a way that's going to fit you know, your needs and your lifestyle, which is tremendously different compared to the past.
And especially with the, you know, each one of these games have a set of rules, and the latest edition, 10th edition, I feel is pretty streamlined.
No, it's crisp. It's all very crisp. Very much looking forward to the new edition of Age of Sigmar, which is coming into its own. Hopefully in the next month. I think it's slated for July.
Yeah, the new Skaven-tied box. That's going to be really cool. I like the new Skaven. Yeah. And what else do we have over there? We have all the, like you said, smaller miniature games.
Ones. You know, Monster Fight Club, they did Cyberpunk. I don't know if you've played that video game or read any of that fiction, or perhaps even older, the old RPG from the 90s. Local guy did that actually here, created it, and it became this blow-up property. They have a really, really savage miniature game that's very small scale, like dueling street gangs that we've played a tremendous amount here. The guys at Monster Fight Club have made an awesome game, and they're really cool guys. This Ocean Table, which is
beautiful,
board resin for fun, just for making it even more proper, is for Dystopian Wars, which I had mentioned earlier. That is a dystopian science fiction World War I naval combat game.
That is very, very specific.
That is a lot of words.
That is the most specific niche of game you can get. But I mean, look at this terrain. It's absolutely beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing. They got cool ships, and it's what if in the Victorian era, we discover super technology and super fuels that allow for just mega guns, tanks, vessels, and weaponry. So it's like Jules Verne's cranked up to 11, and then the world just goes like, let's blow each other up and move the World War I to the 1800s. So it's very cool, very exotic game, and a lot of fun, and it's one of the many that we enjoy here.
Yeah, because I mean, again, you have a beautiful array of terrain for each and every game imaginable.
Yeah,
here.
I mean, having you know, an opportunity to give people a place to enjoy it where maybe they don't have the space or the resources to do this in their garage or their house. I mean, that's always been the dream, is to say, hey, what game do you want to play? We have a terrain for that. We have spots for it. We can create that scene for you so that you can really enjoy the products that you're getting from us and take it to a level that you see perhaps on YouTube, or you see in a magazine, or you see in these blogs that say, look at this sick board. And it's like, no, let's try to make it special for you, because this is what we all grew up seeing, and I want to be able to touch it and feel it and do it somewhere with friends. And that's why we did all this. That's why we want to do more of it. That's why we want to keep going.
Hey, again, we're going to touch on the community aspect. Like, I've been in here where you can even jump in a game. You can jump on the Discord and like find a game to play. Yeah. You can just come in here by yourself, like, I want to learn how to play a game, and somebody will help you, and you'll teach everybody about the damn game.
It's huge. It's huge to have that kind of a cut of folks here that are just so down with, you know, saying, hey, what do you want to do? We're doing that. You want to join us? And that welcomeness and that energy is so important to me, and the only reason that I get to keep that door open. And it's just a really cool scene when it's here and you see everybody jamming, and there's 7, 8 different games from different studios and different publishers happening at once. And that's why we just got to keep packing it in, because we love it all.
Yeah, and then even when you have hobby nights, you even have card games going, like we've talked about. Like, you're hitting every tabletop facet, or is that the right word?
Yeah, I mean, out there. That was the dream. You know, I grew up being a geek, wanting to do it all, and I tried my damnedest wallet providing that I could. And I said, hey, if I ever had the chance to do it, I wanted it to be something where any game and any person was welcome to come in and enjoy it together. And that's the big part of it. I say no to no game. I just want to do it with everybody and learn something new and try something new so that we can all have fun.
As well as, I didn't notice, do you carry like any books for like miniature agnostic games, stuff like that?
Absolutely.
Like, I don't know if we covered that too.
Gaslands, Forbidden Sons, Xenos Rampart. You know, Osprey makes all these tremendously incredible games where, hey, here's the rules. What do you want to play? Your imagination, throw a hand grenade in it, do what you want, but build it how you want. All those games actually get a lot of love here. And, you know, sometimes those games feel a little more like they're for the Instagram or a blog and nobody's touching them, tasting them in person. We do. Yeah. Everyone here has definitely gone through the rodeo of many small games, even if it's for, you know, a weekend or a couple of months, and then it goes in dormant for a while and it comes back. You know, they get played and they're fun.
I mean, again, Mike, the best thing I absolutely love about tabletop games, that's what always draws me back, is If you don't like a rule, you can always change it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're just here to have fun with people. You know?
These rules aren't set in stone.
No.
It's just about playing how you want to play.
And
you know,
and a lot of these great games, especially the smaller press ones like that, they really take an awesome approach to doing it. Because it's more about just like the vibe. It's more about just enjoying the story or the moment or the game, you know, what you've created and what you've tried to present. So, you know, there's always going to be hang-ups with rules sometimes, but, you know, working through them and keeping it the easiest solution, especially with those littler games, is always just a breeze. It's not a problem. Like how with Gaslands, I mean, gosh, how many pileups we've had where we had no idea how to move the damn cars. We just worked through it and came up with the silliest solution and had the best time.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. What the hell is all this, Mike? This is like so overwhelming with all these models and like figures everywhere and flags and
well,
sorts
you
of
know,
stuff.
I'm a big geek and I want my geek stuff everywhere. And instead of having to cram it into a house and torment my wife, I have the opportunity to put all my cool tchotchkes and geekeries and banners and collectibles everywhere I want here. And then also I can show off all of the models from myself and the staff because this is our passion. And we want to show everybody what we do all day and have it at arm's reach when we're ready to play. So up above, we got some banners from Magic for all the cool sets and stuff. I got some cool artwork from some, you know, creators that I like, that especially the ones that focused on, you know, Magic cards, D&D. They're spotted all around the store, but here is my gigantic Dungeons and Dragons critter collection that is really precious to me because if they make a cool model, I want it, and I'm gonna put it somewhere. And then in here, these are ones that me and the guys have painted. So I just want a little display case for everybody to enjoy our hard work. Some ones that I'm particularly partial of is this ancient Warhammer army of mine.
All the fantasy stuff right here.
That is incredibly old school.
Definitely
and very, very precious to me because it survived somehow this long in its ancient form, as well as models that my then girlfriend, now wife, have painted when I taught her how to paint. Some of her Malifaux models, these little pumpkins, and stuff that I sculpted with her and did. And then some really old Chaos models are really, really special to me because when I was working at a comic store when I was a young man, we did a campaign where we had to make our own little figures, and a war band of Chaos warriors was gonna battle one another, and these somehow survived, my little conversions and custom made figures. And I have them here still, and it's very important because I remember doing that when I was working, or should have been working, at this comic store, like on the side, and then I still have them today. I got some cool stuff here. I got my buddies Dave and Ed and Curtis and Wasabi, and even dumbass Aiden, my buddy, he's a young kid. He's got his Marvel in here. More of my dragons. Dave's armies look beautiful as always. Curtis's case is just, it's freaking festooned with incredible work. Some stuff from my buddy George is in there, and even some of my stuff from my friend Jordan. When he moved, he was like, "Can I please leave some stuff in the store?" And it's there as a memory to him, even though he doesn't get to live too local to me no more. So it's just a collection of people, you know, that are here and just putting stuff out there so we can just vibe on, you know, their work and their passion and show it off and just enjoy it.
Like, yeah, real quick touching on that. Like, how long have you been even painting and collecting all of this stuff? This is a huge collection.
Yeah, it's cool, and I wish that I had more room because this is only a small scratch. You know, space be damned, I could fill this store twice over with all the stuff that I've collected over the years. But this stuff is, you know, the cream of the crop of my collection going back since I was about 10 years old. Wow. And I've been doing this now for damn near 30 years. And I never want to stop being a big kid, honestly. Like, I want to be a kid forever.
That's why people want to start this store, the things that they're passionate about.
Yeah, I mean, that's the blessing and trial of my life has been to make this happen.
Yeah, because some people don't realize how old Warhammer and D&D and some of those games are.
It's pretty old these days. You know, I was saying BattleTech earlier, I said it was 40 years. D&D's over 40 years. I think it's 50 years this year.
Yeah,
I think it's 50. It's 50 this year. Magic just had its 30th anniversary, but a year ago. So, I mean, Games Workshop as a company is over 40 years old. Warhammer proper is definitely approaching 35, 40 years old at this point. It's crazy. You know, this industry started in garages and basements and strange Midland areas in the UK, and now like it's crazy.
It's mainstream.
It's so real.
TV
now.
shows
For
and
real.
movies.
And that's what's so cool is that like I got to be there when it was like this dusty closet of, you know, unmentionable crap. And now all of a sudden it's like, holy
cool.
crap, this is dope. I see guys on the freeway that I've never seen, and they got a Warhammer sticker on their car. And I'm like, hey, homeboy loves 40K. That guy's my guy. You know, that's cool. And it's neat. It's neat to see that evolution. And you know, part of having this passionate collection is just, you know, embracing that and just wanting to share it with anyone that wants to learn more.
And again, collectibles. Look at all these things around the shop.
Yeah, I got my baby
the
dragon.
big figures.
Got my imp. I got a life-size Chandra from Magic
amazing.
the Gathering. And then way over yonder, my menagerie continues. You can see it. And then we have my Beholder, as well as my kobolds. And then Drist himself is, you know, always glowering at me dubiously.
Yeah, because you got like a Mind Flayer over there, then the Hell
Mind
Bear.
Flayer, Mimic, my favorite, anything Cyclops related. So I got the Beholder and then a mounted Cyclops that my friend Curtis actually made for me.
Oh,
which,
wow.
I am honored to be able to hang dead above my door. I got some really cool props. I got some dudes that work in the film industry. They've made me some really, really sharp looking props.
That looks like some cool orc.
Yeah, big shooter, last gun,
Yep.
you know, anything we can do to guss it up. You know, wanna make it cool. This is my nerd Disneyland.
Oh, yeah, and as well as there's a cool band over there.
Yeah, there's a cool band. There's a really cool guy. He comes here. Mateus is just a badass, and he gave me this, and he's like, you know, hey man, you want this deck? And I was like, yeah, I used to skate. I'd love to hang a deck. And I remember he was like, I hung it up, and he was like, dude, I have my band's deck hung in a game store. Like that's a part of my life that's complete. And I was like, man, that's cool. He's just such a cool guy.
Hell yeah.
Honored to have it. Honored to have it.
And again, you know, we did a whole video on Mortal Wound too, so check them out again.
Very cool guys.
Always plug everybody when I can.
Guys, man. No, he's a cool cat. They got good stuff, man. Very cool.
And because we'll touch on it in a bit, but it's like heavy metal and all this stuff collides.
Dude, it crunches up big time, man. Big time. The influences, it's always been there. It's always been there.
Exactly.
And it's never gonna stop.
Hell yeah. So dude, I want to also talk about your Magic collection real quick. So let's check out some of that stuff.
What a disease.
Hey Mike, so like again, we're gonna see some of your crazy collection that you've been collecting since the dawn of Magic and when it started.
Man. I've been playing a long time. I got my packs kind of when I was a young man, and I got into it right at the tail end of beta and starting of Unlimited. It was very hard to get, and you know, from there it was just an addiction that never really kind of left my body. I have played for a long time, every format, everything imaginable, but for me, now it's all Commander. I can use all the old stuff. I can make stupid decks with stupid cards that I have that are ancient and now make them cool, thematic, and I really, really get into that format more than anything else. I do have my favorite Commander deck here. Fans will know that this is a Phyrexian black mana symbol. That's because my favorite character ever is Yawgmoth, the original big bad guy of Magic. I dreamed my whole life that they would make a card of that guy, and they did mere years ago, and I had to make the deck, and I care so much about him that I try to put all cool looking stuff in here because he's my favorite boy. If it's got Phyrexian language, I gotta have it. It's just a rule of mine. Has to be done. I got all my old Judge promos from when I was on the Pro Tour. You know, cool blacked out, you know, Comic Con versions of cards. They're more Phyrexian. He's like the king of evil in Magic. And for me, that was always like a word that was like, what's a Phyrexian? Who's Yawgmoth? Who is this guy? You know, kind of like never really knew kind of what it was about until they finally brought him out. You know, he's dead now and he's just kind of like a background thought, but it's one of those things that was just, you know, I had to do it. I had to make the deck as cool as I could, and it's just one of the many things that I appreciate about Magic is you can really, oh, this one's cool. It's signed by the artist. I met him a long time ago. Got some oldies in there. It's one of those things, making a Commander deck is so fun because you can bring back anything, except for a few cards, like, you know, can't use my Power 9, you know, but you can use a lot of the old school, you know, stuff that's just so storied and so mysterious, and you can just really get in the lab and go crazy with it.
So yeah, basically, I just want to get a whole rundown because Magic is such a complicated ass game. What are the different formats of Magic? And what's the most basic way to play? Like, how should we even start to get into this damn game?
So you have like a tremendous, like, ever-changing list of formats, but the one that, you know, most people are familiar with these days is Commander. And Commander is where you can have only singleton or one copy of any given card in a deck. You have a commander who's the 100th card in your deck, or the first, depending on who you ask, and that sets the theme and the color selection that's allowed in the deck. And then you kind of build to the capabilities of the commander, because that commander card, that creature preferably, is always accessible to you. So it really kind of like creates an opportunity for heavy theme, because it also is an eternal format, which means you can play with pretty much anything that you have, going back any amount of years, all the way back to the original sets of Magic. They have a list that says, hey, you can't use these cards, but that list is meaninglessly small compared to the masses of cards that exist throughout 30 years of history. The more tournament-ready format is called Standard. That is, you know, a certain amount of sets that have been coming out recently, usually within a 2 to 3 year period. And that's what most people, and what Magic started with, was like these 60 card decks with a sideboard, best of 3 matches, no more than 4 copies of any given card. That format, Standard, then has, you know, changed in the other ways that you play with older stuff. It used to be called, when I was, you know, playing, it was Extended, and then they called it Modern. And there's Vintage, which is like older stuff. Then there's Legacy, which is like even crazier, the OG stuff. Then there's Pioneer, was a more recent inclusion that had come out that kind of is a little bit modern format and a little bit further forward, so you kind of X out some of the older sets. So all of the other ones are kind of the standard structure, but they try to impart rules to curb the card pool. But truthfully, the most popular format is Commander. And that turn happened a few years ago. That's what most people play, unless you're really at like a shop where there's like sharks and they want to like be tournament grinders, which is cool. But here we definitely focus more on the Commander format. It's a little more casual, the vibe is a little more laid back, and we play, you know, a lot of theme fun decks, and we try to keep it a little low to the ground. I want to hit you with big creatures and, you know.
Well, because again, Magic is a very intimidating game because it's been it's been around for so long, and these decks get expensive.
They can. They really
If you were to put a price on your Commander deck, how much would it be?
Oh, golly. I really don't know. The last
Rough
time
ballpark.
I think the last time I looked with my buddy Aiden, who helps me out here with cards and sorting, and my buddy Alex, I think it had to be over 10 grand the last time. Because mine's kind of a bad example. I try to get the fanciest foil, sexiest, most polished, rarest, hardest, serialized. But that's stupid. You know, I could make the same deck and it would cost a fraction of that.
Exactly.
But I had to make my boy Yawgmoth hard. You know, they can be expensive, but there's ways to enjoy this without having, you know, to spend more than a couple $100 or even $100. But this is a dumb example. You know?
But it's still it's fun to ask.
Of course, yes. This is my little gem, and it was an expensive gem to buy.